It feels like it's been ages since I picked up the camera. And why I felt the need to make a video on this topic is because of this. Other than this.
पता नहीं कौन वीआईपी आया हुआ है जो कि इतना लगा हुआ है, आधे घंटे से खड़े हैं, चेक कर रहा है। आ रहे हैं, खुलने तो दो।
It's a scenario of a traffic being halted for a VIP. You know, this concept of VIP never crossed my mind before because I never experienced this personally, since I always preferred staying at home whenever I heard that someone important is coming to the city. To clarify, in this video, the traffic is not being halted for the president, vice president, prime minister or any foreign dignitary of the same level for whom road blockage is sanctioned. Now, what bothers me here is not that we were made to wait, because for some extent it is justified to hold the traffic for someone important for security concern, but for how long we were made to wait. It was not just for 5 to 10 or 15 minutes, but we were made to wait for more than half an hour. And in this video, you can even see pedestrians and people on the cycle in the crowd. Now, why they are made to stand for so long? Just check them and let them go. So I went out to see whether it's just a me problem or a we problem. First question is that have you ever been stopped for any VIP movement except for Prime Minister, President and Vice President?
Yes.
Okay. And for how long and in which state?
Frequently, like 2 to 3 minutes, majorly. And here in my resident area, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh.
And for which post, if you are comfortable?
I'm not sure. Maybe for I think frequently I've been stopped for these what we call these MPs, MLAs.
Yeah, for CM.
For how long?
At least 20 minutes.
बिल्कुल रोका गया है।
अच्छा, और कितने समय के लिए और किस स्टेट में?
कम से कम 15 से 20 मिनट।
15 से
20 मिनट।
अच्छा, और कौन सी पोस्ट के लिए रोका गया है?
सीएम।
सीएम के लिए ही अक्सर रोके जाते हैं हम लोग।
जी हाँ, मुझे रोका गया है।
और कितने समय के लिए रोका गया है और कौन सी पोस्ट के लिए?
मुख्यमंत्री जी के लिए रोका गया था और करीब आधे घंटे में फंसा रहा उस जाम में।
अब ऐसा है कि इधर बीच अगर देखा जाए कुछ सालों से तो मतलब काफ़ी इन चीज़ों में सुधार आया है। पहले क्या होता था, मैं कम से कम 10 साल से पीछे की बात बता रहा हूँ, कोई भी मतलब सांसद तक भी चलते थे तो पूरा एकदम रोड ब्लॉक किया जाता था, खाली कराया जाता था और मतलब मंत्रियों की बात ही क्या करिएगा। अब तब से तो अब में बहुत हमें चेंज समझ में आता है, लेकिन हाँ अभी भी जो भी वीआईपी होते हैं भाई, उनके लिए थोड़ा रोड पे इस तरह की परेशानी का सामना ज़रूर करना पड़ता है। वो थोड़ा सा हमें लगता है कि वो ज़रूरी भी है, क्योंकि वो इतने सीनियर पोस्ट पे हैं कि थोड़ा उनको प्रोटोकॉल को देखते हुए करना चाहिए। लेकिन ये है कि थोड़ा सा पब्लिक के साइड से भी गवर्नमेंट को ये ऐसा कुछ पॉलिसी बनाना चाहिए कि कम से कम टाइम पब्लिक का जाए और पब्लिक को परेशानी कम से कम हो और उनका प्रोटोकॉल भी फॉलो किया जा सके।
जी, हम लोगों को रोका गया है और उसमें वीआईपी के कल्चर के लिए फिर आम जनता को बहुत परेशानी होती है इसमें।
Did it cause any inconvenience to you, or like did you notice anyone else around you being uncomfortable because of it?
By God grace, I haven't experienced such kind of thing. But yeah, I have noticed like numerous ambulances are there in the queue waiting for their turn to go out of all this chaos. So yeah, I have seen.
So they were not given way, like the ambulances were not given way?
Yeah, obviously all were stopped, and whenever we used to get stopped, like ambulance are quite behind in the queue, so eventually they also get stopped in this VIP traffic movement.
Yeah, I was late for coaching.
Sad.
बिल्कुल दिक्कत तो हुई है, क्योंकि मैं जब गया था तो मेरे साथ मेरी मम्मी भी थी और हमें तो ठीक है, हम तो मैनेज कर लिए, लेकिन मम्मी को मेरे बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। वो बैठी हुई थी गाड़ी पे और कम से कम 20 मिनट गाड़ी पे बैठे रहना जाम में बहुत टफ है किसी भी औरत के लिए। और अगल बगल भी लोगों को दिक्कतें तो हो ही रही थी, दिख रहा था। वो भी गर्मी का महीना था, काफ़ी ज़्यादा भीड़ भाड़ था और धूप भी बहुत तेज़ थी, दोपहर का टाइम था, तो दिक्कत तो हुई थी।
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल हो रही थी। मौसम चूँकि गर्मी का था, धूप तेज़ थी, अगल बगल कोई पेड़ नहीं था, मैं बीच में खड़ा था और बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब धूप लग रही थी। उसमें कोई चारा नहीं था मेरे पास कि ना हम आगे जा सकते थे ना पीछे जा सकते थे, सिवाय उस धूप में इंतज़ार करना कि मेरे मुख्यमंत्री जी निकल जाएं और मैं जाऊं।
अच्छी बात है, अगर रोड ब्लॉक है भाई, हर कोई अपने काम से निकला है, समय की कमी सभी के पास है, सबके पास सीमित समय, उसी में अपना काम करना है, तो अब ये अननेसेसरी अनप्लान्ड कोई इस तरह का ब्लॉकेज आ जाता है या रुकावट आ जाती है तो उसमें थोड़ी सी उलझन तो होती ही है।
जरूरी काम से जा रहे, स्टेशन पे ट्रेन पकड़ने जा रहे या बस स्टैंड में बस पकड़ने जा रहे, तो उससे आम जनता को बहुत मतलब मुश्किलात का सामना करना पड़ता है।
Now the question is whether it is justified and legally sanctioned to have a VIP culture in a democratic country like India. If you demur and to ponder over the same question, then I am here to give your thoughts away. As per the Government of India Home Ministry guidelines, traffic can only be stopped for the highest of the dignitaries, namely the President, Prime Minister, Vice President or the visiting foreign dignitaries of the state who are accorded the equivalent security corps. Now for all other people, such as all other posts such as the governors, chief justices, even the chief ministers, traffic cannot be stopped. And if the situation demands halting of the traffic, then it can only be stopped for 5 to 10 minutes. Now I wonder if beyond that time limit, if we are still not allowed to walk freely through that road for which we have been paying taxes, so what is the relevance of the Article 14 and 19D, which is the core of the arguments of the human rights debates, our politicians' speeches, and even the part of our textbook? Why does this topic matters? Now some may wonder, what if we are made to wait a little longer for them to pass without any threat? What's such a big deal? Well, my time matters, but they're very important people. Their life matters. Oh yes, so does ours. In 2009, a kidney patient died of respiratory failure because the entrance to the PGI Chandigarh was blocked because of the Prime Minister's convoy. In 2010, a heart patient named Mr. Anil Jain died en route to the hospital because his ambulance was stuck behind the Prime Minister's motorcade. His family members repeatedly called the police pleading them to clear the path, but they were unsuccessful. Even a child died in Kanpur who was in need of a medical emergency because his parents were stuck in the traffic jam because of the Prime Minister's visit to the IIT. Obviously, as usual, the inquiry was conducted and the police reported that they found no conclusive negligence. But they forget that by hindering them to get treated on time, you are ultimately violating their right to life. These incidents immediately led to public outrage, but the legislative steps for the curtailment of the VIP privileges took place after prolonged wait. So before knowing what steps were taken by the government, let's first understand the constitutionality of this VIP privileges and what are the court's ruling on this subject. But with this, let's also see what the public has to say about the VIP culture in a democratic country like India. And do you think that it's fine to have VIP culture in India, for example, VIP darshan and these traffic road blockages in a democratic country like India?
As I say, everything is having two sides. Okay. So on one side, if we are talking about yes, it has to be stopped, but on the other side, it can be having some adverse effect of this. So yeah, after taking two good provisions and care, we can have this stop. But there has to be some good thing, some good provision, so that the adverse effect of this stoppage wouldn't cause any effect to general people, public.
For this, I cannot say that it is purely wrong, but it is somehow wrong, because every minister or whatever it is, he thinks he is the power, but the real power is for president, and the protocols are only for the VVIPs, not for these small netas or prime ministers.
Yes.
दो तीन लोगों को छोड़कर ये कल्चर ठीक नहीं है, नहीं होना चाहिए।
ये तो सही नहीं है, हमारे हिसाब से बिल्कुल सही नहीं है। कुछ सेलेक्टेड लोगों के लिए छोड़ दिया जाए, बाकी सबके लिए गलत है, ये बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए। और वीआईपी कल्चर ठीक है, आप हमारे राष्ट्रपति को दो, प्रधानमंत्री को दो, उपराष्ट्रपति को दो, लेकिन अभी कोई भी नेता जाता है, कुछ भी जाता है, पहुंच जाते हैं लोग वीआईपी दर्शन कराने लगते हैं। तो ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए।
वीआईपी दर्शन तो किसी मायने में ठीक नहीं है। भारत के लोकतंत्र में हर आदमी वीआईपी है, तो इसमें कोई स्पेशल वीआईपी अलग से है नहीं, तो सभी आम नागरिक भी सभी के लिए बराबर होना चाहिए।
नहीं, वीआईपी कल्चर मतलब वीआईपी कल्चर तो नहीं सही है, लेकिन जैसे अगर थोड़ा सा भाई महत्वपूर्ण व्यक्तियों की बात अगर करेंगे तो चूँकि उनका प्रोटोकॉल है भाई, वो सीनियर पोस्ट पे हैं, उनको उतना रिस्क भी है, उनके पास मतलब लिमिटेड टाइम में उनको ज़्यादा काम भी करना है, तो थोड़ा सा उनको प्रोटोकॉल तो देना ही पड़ता है। लेकिन उसमें मेरा यही विचार है कि कुछ गवर्नमेंट को ऐसा प्लान इनका करना चाहिए कि पब्लिक को कम से कम समय का लॉस हो, पब्लिक को कम से कम परेशानी हो और उनका प्रोटोकॉल भी चलता रहे।
Our constitution comprises of Article 14 and Article 19D, which are the fundamental rights. Therefore, protecting these rights is the utmost priority. And since we can see that these VIP privileges contradict these rights, so obviously there are no such VIP provisions given in the constitution. Even the courts have many times stated in their rulings that since these VIP rules and regulations are not constitutionally entitled, therefore they should be kept to minimal. In 2018, the Madras High Court, while hearing the PIL filed by an advocate who missed his appointment with doctor because of the traffic being halted for the Chief Minister, directed that traffic can only be stopped for the high dignitaries such as the President, the Prime Minister and other exigencies, and apart from them, the traffic should not be halted for more than 5 to 10 minutes. In 2020-23, courts in some states like Karnataka directed modern measures such as installing GPS in the ambulances and dedicated traffic control rooms so that the emergencies are not impeded. Now, this VIP culture, even being unconstitutional, is so much rooted in our country that even the Supreme Court had to step in criticizing the red beacon culture and the VIP darshans. There is a recent Supreme Court case on this subject. On 25th October 2024, Supreme Court agreed to examine a plea which was about getting VIP darshan after paying a certain amount of money. So a bench of Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Sanjay Kumar decided to list this petition which was filed by Vijay Kishore Goswami, who said that these special darshans violate the right to equality and dignity and are solely based on class. ये तो ऐसे ही हो गया कि मेरे पास ज़्यादा पैसा है तो भगवान मेरे हैं. Well, on 31st January 2025, Supreme Court gave the ruling that it is of the opinion that no special treatment should be given, but it refused to adjudicate on this issue and left it to the states. I mean, seriously, even in case of getting access to the temples, we are doing this when we say that for God, all their children are equal, and we being human are trying to create this distinction. And what is even this colonial mindset distinction between the VIP and the commoners? If he's like, we hate the colonial era, but let's relive it. There is not even an official nomenclature about the VIP, and there are not even statutory laws explicitly granting VIP privileges except for some legislation that are for the security of the Prime Minister. Then how come we still continue?
Do you think that it is legal to have VIP culture?
It's not legal, but someday, somewhere down the line, we know that it is important. I mean, it is important because time efficiency things. But this all has to be managed very appropriately. It is not managed according to the scenario. Like if there is a city like Varanasi, it's too crowded, too much crowded. If I think if 2-minute stoppage is there, it can cause a huge delay. So yeah, it has to be organized in a way so that people are not affected from this so-called VIP movement. This is my personal opinion.
Okay. And if it's not legal, so like why is it still in continuation and how is it being managed?
I think it's not legal, but somewhere down the line it's important also. If a very for a good cause, if that movement is held, so yeah, it is important for a good cause. I don't think that the so-called MLAs and MPs should be getting this VIP traffic movement, but yeah, from where it is important, it should be getting that.
No.
And if you think it's not legal, then why it is still being continued in India and why it is being followed?
See, India has a large population in itself, and the law and order are changed according to the post, and like president announced that this law has to be given, then it comes to the down person and they modify it by themselves according to them. So it cannot be say that the policies are wrong. Its implementation is wrong.
Yes, very right.
नहीं, कुछ जगह तो कानून के हिसाब से हो रहा है, लेकिन बहुत ज़्यादा बिना कानून के भी हो रहा है, गैर कानूनी तरीके से बहुत जगहों पे हो रहा है. अगर मंदिरों में भी देखा जाए तो बहुत जगह हम लोग भी सफ़र करते हैं, किसी भी मंदिर में जाते हैं तो पता चला हम लोग लाइन में लगे हुए हैं और कोई VIP आया, किसी तरह का भी आया, वो जाके दर्शन कर लेता है. और VIP में सिर्फ नेता हो, ठीक है, कोई मिनिस्टर हो तो समझ में आता है, कुछ भी आ गया, किसी भी तरह का VIP आ गया, तो लोग अगर कोई एक्ट्रेस आ गया, कोई एक्टर आ गया, तो भी ये लोग रास्ते मतलब हम लोग को छोड़ के उनको जाते हैं, दर्शन करा देते हैं। तो ये तो गलत चीज़ है, बिल्कुल गैर कानूनी है।
मुझे तो लगता है नहीं सही है।
अगर नहीं सही है तो आज भी क्यों फॉलो हो रहा है, क्यों कंटिन्यू है, आपको क्या लगता है?
कुछ लोग करते हैं अपने अच्छे दिखावे के लिए कि भाई हम अच्छी व्यवस्था दे रहे हैं, और इसलिए वीआईपी की निगाह में अच्छे बनने के लिए वो ऐसा काम कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, कानून के हिसाब से तो पूरी तरह नहीं होता होगा, लेकिन अब ये है कि जो उनका प्रोटोकॉल बताया जाता है, तो भाई जाहिर सी बात है प्रोटोकॉल उनका फॉलो करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट मतलब लोकल जो गवर्नमेंट है या लोकल जो भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर है उनको भाई थोड़ा सा तो करना ही पड़ता होगा। तो मतलब मुझे लगता है कि ये रूल्स के हिसाब से ही होते होंगे, लेकिन अब ये है कि वो उसको मतलब फॉलो अप करने में हो सकता है ये लोग कुछ मतलब रूल के ऊपर भी चले जाते हों। जैसे कि अक्सर ये देखा जाता है कि पब्लिक के प्रति जो है कि जो लोकल पुलिस होती है या जो भी गवर्नर करते हैं वो बहुत रूड हो जाते हैं या बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट हो जाते हैं। तो थोड़ा सा ये भी देखना चाहिए कि अगर मान लीजिए कोई भाई जल्दी में है या कोई रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा है या कोई इस तरह किसी को दिक्कत है, तो थोड़ा सा उनके हिसाब से उनको थोड़ा सॉफ्ट भी होना चाहिए, बाकी अपना ड्यूटी भी करना चाहिए। अब बाकी रूल में अब कितना है, अब ये तो मुझे नहीं पता अपने लेवल पे कि कितना रूल के हिसाब से हो रहा है, कितना नहीं हो रहा है।
नहीं, कानूनी रूप से तो हो रही है, नहीं हो रही है, लेकिन बट ग्राउंड पे तो चल रहा है।
The VIP traffic movement or the blockage of the roads is specifically done with the intention of protecting the high dignitaries, and since Ministry of Home Affairs is responsible for maintaining the internal security, so they set the guidelines regarding the VIP convoys and the blockage of the roads. But you can clearly see in their guidelines that those guidelines are not at all discriminatory and are actually made while keeping in the interest of the public in mind. And since traffic is a state subject, so they can be modified, but of course they cannot be diverted from the original framework. Along with this, the state where the dignitary resides is primarily responsible for the security, and for this the administration is free to make such arrangements. So this answers the question that though it is unconstitutional and diverges from the guidelines set by the Ministry of Home Affairs, why is it still in continuation? It is because this subject is left on the police discretion, but to make sure that the public that consists of the pedestrians, elderly, sick, and the service providers, the doctors do not suffer or do not face any issue, so police are sensitized. And no doubt in that, we can clearly see how sensitive our police is. This protection is provided on threat assessment. So in other way, they are not actually a very important person, but actually very threatened person. And posts or individuals are categorized who need a special treatment. And the way Ministry of Home Affairs has put its guidelines, it explicitly makes clear that such categorization do not grant them any civic or traffic privileges. And do you know what the irony is? Our constitution does consist of an act which is there not to grant VIP privileges, but to actually safeguard general public from such privileges. Section 108 of the Center Motor Vehicles Rule under the Motor Vehicles Act of 1988 governs the use of red, blue and amber lights atop the vehicles. In 2017, the Union Cabinet led by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi abolished the use of red and blue beacons on all vehicles, including those of the ministers, that is of both the union and the state, the judges and even the bureaucrats. The only exceptions were for the emergency and the enforcement vehicles such as the ambulances, fire brigades, police and the army convoys. In 2017, there was also came a motor vehicles driving regulations, which are the administrative rules issued by the Ministry of Road Transport and the Highways. Its 27th regulation states the priority or establishes an order of priority, according to which fire service is the first, ambulances are second, then the police vehicle, and this spells out clearly that the emergency vehicles will always have the priority over all other vehicles and even over the VIP convoys. In 2019, Motor Vehicles Amendment Act came, which is not directly about the VIPs, but its section 194E is about the penalty, which can be up to 10,000 and even the jail for obstructing ambulances or the firefighters. Now let's come on my favorite blame game, whom to blame. I used to do it in the free time, now it has become my hobby. I'm proud of it. Police, administration, to much extent, yes. But if the state leaders want to curb such culture themselves, then they are authorized to take the steps. But do they really want that?